Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 142 of Classic Elite. My name is Scott. I've got Dustin with me. What's going on, man?
I feel much better than I did last week.
You awake this time?
Yeah. I should be able to articulate my thoughts.
Yeah, no, that was... Usually I'm the one that loses my train of thought, so I'm not going to lie. It felt good to not be the one that was doing that for once.
Awesome, okay.
So, your blank thoughts gave me some joy. Even though they shouldn't, I'm supposed to be rooting for you. It was nice. Nice change of pace there. So, it's been a week. You're awake. What's new, man?
Not much. I did some gardening today.
Fun.
Yeah.
I go to Ohio and do some for me.
I picked up some pepper plants. Nice. Hot peppers.
It's not too late to start growing those?
Hopefully not. Luckily, I'm not planting seeds. They're already like pretty good plants.
Oh, okay.
And I just had some of those like terracotta plant holders. Like they're like one's like 16 inches wide, and I got a couple of those and a 10-inch, and I planted a jalapeno, a habanero, and a cayenne pepper plant.
Nice.
Yeah.
I've never had cayenne pepper outside of Tabasco sauce or cayenne pepper, like salt or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So that's cool.
Yeah, like the powdered spice.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You'll have to send me a picture when those start to grow in.
Okay.
So, that's pretty badass, man. Are you usually a gardener?
My ambitions for gardening are always much higher than my actual, like I want to be a super gardener, like has like tomato plants and corn, and like, cause my grandfather was and my dad was.
But then letting the legacy down.
Yeah, because like summer will come around. It's just I usually don't have enough time, and it's a great deal of work.
Oh my god, it is.
So, yeah.
For a relatively small yield, I mean, you bust your ass, and if you get 20 peppers, was it worth the whole summer of work for 20 peppers?
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
But usually, like, it may be like my dad is like super gardener, green thumb. My mom's the same way, but like they would plant a garden, and those plants would put out so much that they couldn't give it away any longer. Like they were giving it to so many people.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, my old neighbor was like that. I think he passed away though. I'm not sure what happened. I only knew his first name.
Mm-hmm.
And then this winter, one day, their house was up for sale.
Oh wow.
They were avid smokers. Didn't matter how cold it was. They were outside smoking their cigarettes.
Man.
And it just stopped one day, and then they were gone. It was weird.
Huh.
I'm having a lot of turnover in my neighborhood right now, actually. There's quite a few people that are older that are moving out, and a lot of people our age moving in.
Cool.
So that's kind of cool.
Maybe the guy that disappeared was like a like witness protection, and they found out where he was.
Well, you know what? He did gamble.
There you have it.
He told me all about that. So, but yeah, well, everyone, welcome to Classic Elite. This is a video game podcast, so we'll be talking about some video games. Unfortunately, Josh isn't going to be with us tonight, but everyone keep Josh in your thoughts. He was horsing around and broke his toe. Poor guy. I know. We shouldn't laugh, but it's kind of funny.
He's all toe up.
Oh, God. That's the worst pun we've had in a long time on this show.
Yeah.
Good job.
Thank you.
So, yeah, but unfortunately, and he's not missing because we're recording on a weird night. He's not missing because his toe's broken, so he can't record or anything like that. But he should be on in the next week or so. So, should be.
He has a lot of toe injuries.
Holy shit, that's right. He broke his toe or hurt his toe recording with us.
He was like half cut off with his standing desk or whatever.
Yeah.
Or maybe we blamed it on the standing desk.
I think we blame it on the standing desk. I don't think that actually was the fault of the standing desk. I think he accidentally just kicked the desk while he was recording. So, yeah. So we miss Josh, and hopefully he'll be around. But this week we'll be talking about some Hearthstone stuff, some Nintendo stuff. We've got an email from Mike T. We've got a lot of YouTube comments from the last episode, so we'll be covering those. And then we'll be talking about what we've been playing. So, I don't know, Dustin. With E3 looming, I came up with a lot of news items, a lot of bullet points, but it's kind of thin. Should we maybe talk about what we've been playing before we get into news? Or should we just roll through the news as normal?
We can just roll through the news.
Roll through the news? All right. Okay. Before we jump into that, do you have any announcements or anything?
No.
No, me either.
Nope.
So,
Same old.
exciting stuff on the Classic Elite front. We have absolutely nothing several weeks in a row. But Dustin, Hearthstone, which is a game that you know that I love, is coming out with a new mode. It's called Tavern Brawls.
All right.
So let's pretend that you liked the game.
Okay.
So you and I have an opportunity to then face each other for like extra XP or something like that. So instead of, and I think you can only do these Tavern Brawls once every couple days or so. So essentially, it's kind of like a battle arena for like you and your friends. What's I guess unique about it is that each week they're going to have really unique rules. So you know how I've talked about the other expansions, how they'll have different bosses and rules that I need to follow. Well, they're going to do that, but instead of playing the computer, you're going to have these different rules and play against one another.
Oh, okay.
So it completely changes up the way that the game's played. And it should be out here in the next week or so.
So it'll basically be like every week there'll be a different like handicap or advantage given to different players?
I'm assuming that they are all going to have the same handicap or the same rule set.
Okay.
So one week it might feature priest decks as the example that they have in here. And what they'll do is they'll have some minions or hero abilities or what have you or spells act in different ways than they normally do. So they do mention that you're not going to be able to do this over and over again. So I think that there's going to be some sort of an XP or gold bonus with it. And the way that they describe it in their press release is that it gets kind of crazy. So you can only do this every couple of days or so. Which, you know, is just them being silly.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was pretty exciting for me. Anytime that they're going to come out with new stuff, new content for Hearthstone, I get pretty excited about it. What's, I mean, you've got a little one running around and you got into Dungeon Hunter. What's holding you back from trying that game?
Hearthstone?
Yeah.
At this point, actually, nothing. Now that I have an iPhone 6.
Oh, you got an iPhone 6?
I did. I upgraded from my old Android.
Because you just had a birthday recently, right?
I did, yeah.
Is that when you did the upgrade?
Actually, it was I had to wait until we got the upgrade possible. So we waited for that, and then all we had to do was basically pay the tax on the phone.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So that worked out really well.
Who's your carrier?
Verizon.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, I don't have any good deals like that around here for Verizon. But so you got an iPhone 6 now. Are you back to? Do you feel good being home again?
Yeah.
Back in the iOS platform.
Much better.
Yeah. Do you use the thumbprint thing or whatever, the fingerprint sensor? No. I've heard that actually works pretty good to unlock your phone.
No, I just use I've actually increased the security on my phone though. Instead of the 4-digit numerical code, I've actually used I use the complex alphanumeric password.
Oh, look at you. Mine just has a grid of dots, and I have to draw a pattern over the dots, and that'll unlock it.
All right, yeah.
Which sounds like it'd be really secure because it could be any one of tens of thousands of patterns, right?
Mm-hmm.
Except you can see the grease mark from my thumb on
Yeah.
my phone. So it's not really that secure. So any decent hacker would be able to get into my my phone without any problems. But yeah, I don't know. I wish that even if Josh was here, I wouldn't have anybody to talk about Hearthstone with. But yeah, so that's pretty cool. That jumped out to me. That was the biggest news for me this week. And I got some handheld news. I won't spend too much time on it though, Dustin. So rest easy. Hyrule Warriors is coming out to 3DS. Did you ever get into any of those Dynasty Warrior games?
Nope.
Not me either. They kind of look boring.
Yeah, I played one of those when I was in Iraq.
Oh, really?
And I was like, wow, this is boring.
And I like a button masher. Like, I really enjoyed Castlevania Lords of Shadow. That's quite a button masher. There's some combos in there, but for the most part, you're just kind of mashing buttons.
Yeah, but I think Lords of Shadow has much more content.
Yeah.
It's much more dense in content than any of the Dynasty Warriors games are.
Yeah, the Dynasty Warrior game, at least my understanding, I could be totally wrong, and maybe some of our YouTube commenters will help correct us if we are, but it seems really thin on the content side of things.
Yeah.
And but my biggest concern with the Hyrule Warriors on 3DS is that there's a lot of sprites on the screen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't you think that the 3DS might struggle with that?
They'll probably tinker with it to make it work better. Like maybe have less enemies on the screen at one time, or
I hope so. But I've played a couple of games on the 3DS that were pretty crappy ports, or pretty crappy games in general. I guess they were ports, both of them. Rayman 3D, which was the Dreamcast Rayman game, just done in 3D on the 3DS.
Mm-hmm.
And Sonic All-Stars Racing. Both of those were bad.
The Sonic game, wasn't that framey? Like the frame rate was garbage?
It was really rough.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I thought that was interesting. But I've never really gotten into a Hyrule Warriors game or a Dynasty Warriors. So I thought it was interesting though that they must have sold enough of those on the Wii U to realize that there was some interest there.
Yeah, that is strange that game came out like 6 months, a year ago?
Probably a year ago, I'd guess.
and now it's released on the 3DS?
Yeah,
that's weird.
It seems weird. So, and then on Kotaku, I saw, this isn't really news, I just thought it was really cool. There was a guy that had his dad film his experience getting a Super Nintendo back in the early 90s on launch day. And you watched the video, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't that be cool if you had a home video just dedicated to that?
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Have you went through any home videos? Have you caught any old gaming or anything like that through any of them?
No, I like all my old home videos were like the oldest they get is like I would be 16 or 17. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we didn't get a camcorder till way late.
What's funny is we personally didn't have one, but my grandma and grandpa bought one, and our entire family shared it. That's just shows how far we've come that everybody has a camcorder in their pocket now.
Yeah.
But back then, the whole family, so aunts, uncles, everybody would basically rent out this home video thing from my grandparents. I shouldn't say rent, but borrow. And there's home video where you hear Mega Man in the background or Zelda in the background, where you hear me talking about it, but you never see a full dedicated video. So if people are interested in seeing a kid's reaction. Now, this isn't like the Nintendo 64 kid.
Right.
This is a very well done home movie. And essentially this dad wanted to catch his son by surprise with a Super Nintendo, and he did that and caught it on film. And this guy posted it to YouTube. And he did some voiceover with it and some editing, so I thought it was really cool and wanted to share that. So if you're interested, go to classicelite.com, check out the show notes, and I'll call it like Super Nintendo on launch day or something like that.
Mike T says that Josh is playing The Witcher right now.
Oh, instead of is Mike catching the live stream?
Yeah.
Damn it, Josh. Oh well, I did get a text from Mike earlier today, and now he's just coming off the end of this game, The Witcher 3. So maybe it's just that rush of adrenaline you get when you beat a really good game. But he was saying it might be the best game ending he's ever experienced.
Huh. Cool.
That was kind of my reaction. I was like, oh, well, maybe I'll have to give this game a shot.
Yeah, I need to buy it.
I'm gonna wait until we get a decent deal on PC. What platform would you go with? Definitely PS4.
Yeah, I'll probably just get on PS4.
Yeah, it seems I don't know. I've heard nothing but good things about it. I'm still just intimidated by just the size of it.
Yeah.
Mike said it took him about 90 hours.
Man, that's awesome.
It's like, geez. And he said that he didn't scratch the surface. He made a comment that was along the lines of, I can totally believe, or it definitely would be about 200 hours if you went through every nook and cranny. I've got my buddies over here playing Elder Scrolls Online. So did you hear the PS4 chime?
I can actually see the reflection of the TV.
Yeah, you can see it like he's playing off the window. Or he's not
I was
playing off the
actually,
window, but you can see it.
I was actually looking at it, trying to figure out what he was playing.
Elder Scrolls Online, which I'll talk about here in a little bit. He's impressed, my buddy John.
Mm-hmm.
I am not. So we'll get to that here in a bit. But speaking of cool stuff, outside of just Nintendo, but kind of retro feeling, did you get a chance to see the first look at Bloodstained, Dustin?
Oh yeah.
What's the guy's name?
Igarashi.
So he was playing the game, and I gotta say, it's a very, very small look at the game, but my first impression was it looked really fluid.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
It very much looks like they're going for a Symphony of the Night.
Yes.
Speed and like the way it animates. Yeah.
And it looks like Sword must have won.
It did.
Oh,
it did. I got the email, and Sword won. Specifically, apparently there were clubs, because they said that the Katana Club won. So it's going to be this in-game item. It's going to be a katana, and it's going to be like super powerful.
That is awesome.
And it's going to be really hard to earn.
That's not awesome. Do you think he'll do what they did in Symphony of the Night and start you off with that sword and then take it away from you?
Oh, that'd be cool.
Just so you get a taste of it?
Yeah.
From Mega Man X?
But I got an email not long before we started this.
I'm sorry. What,
where about Bloodstained, and they're actually making a sword whip, or a whip sword rather.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the whip from Castlevania Lords of Shadow that had it was kind of like a chain whip to it, and it felt more aggressive than a traditional whip.
Yeah.
Or remember in Daredevil? You watched that whole series, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember towards the end of the first season, the fight that he had with the Chinese or Japanese guy that had like a blade on the end of his chain?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what I'm picturing.
Yeah.
That'd be sweet. It looked further along than I would have thought.
Yeah. It's also I really the video, for people that haven't seen it yet. It's Igarashi sitting at this computer playing the really early build with a keyboard, and it's just really cool to see. You see him there, and he's playing it, and he's saying, I usually have it the characters at a bit of a jog, because it helps make it makes it feel better when you're doing the exploration. So at the time he's playing, she's like walking very steadily.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, yeah, we should have her go at like a jog. So it's really cool to see him giving like design advice.
And then the whoever was in the video with him also talked about changing the camera angle on it, even though
Hmm.
it's still a flat 2D side scroller. They talked about changing the angle a little bit on how you're looking at it instead of just straight on. I
Yeah,
thought that was really interesting that they were letting us see that kind of insight going on.
yeah,
It makes me wish that I would have backed it just so I could follow this project.
yeah.
It's not still going, is it?
It may.
Hmm.
Let's check it out real quick.
Okay. Nothing like on air fact checking.
Yeah. 50 hours to go.
Okay, so I got a day to decide.
Yeah.
What's the total amount?
Couple of days.
Did they hit three hours? Oh yeah, 2 days.
They have it's 4,043,000.
4 million?
Second largest Kickstarter for a video game ever.
What was the biggest? Double Fine or it was Heart Citizen on Kickstarter?
I don't know. I'm assuming what was it Broken Age?
Broken Age? That's what I'm assuming it was.
Yeah.
Second biggest Kickstarter ever, huh?
Yep.
Wow. That's awesome. Well, congrats to you for backing it early.
I'm really excited about it. It's not even a game yet, and I'm really excited about it.
Oh, well, you'll have the Mighty Number 9 coming out to kind of curb your appetite for
Yeah, that's true.
old new games, which would be cool.
Oh, damn. That's something else we can put in the news.
What's that?
The Mega Man Legacy Collection.
Oh, yeah. Which I'm really bummed about the Mega Man Legacy Collection because
Me too.
I bought all 6 of them on 3DS already.
Well, you did it the right way.
Why? What's wrong with the Legacy Collection?
The Mega Man Legacy Collection is just going to be the first 6 games.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is, if I could have those removed and put on just a single cart, I think I might take the cart over having them as downloaded titles. And I spent $30 on those games, and I don't think that those cost $30 to get the cart.
I don't know about that.
You think it might?
Yeah, I think it will, yeah. I think it's going to be
Do you think the
$40 for 3 good Mega Man games.
You sound like Jeff Gerstmann. He said the exact same thing on the Bombcast this week.
Sweet.
Do you think that they'll let you remap the buttons? Because that's my biggest problem with the 3DS. Is instead of the buttons being horizontal or sloping from left being high and B being low, or right being low, so it just fits the normal contour of your hand.
Hmm.
You're forced to use B and A the way they're laid out on the 3DS. So the B button's at the bottom of the control pad, and the A button's on the right side of the control pad. So you kind of rock up instead of rocking down in order to jump and shoot with
Yeah.
them. I don't know. I just don't like it. So if I could remap the buttons, then that would be sweet.
Well, in Super Nintendo games are typically Y is your action button, B is your jump button.
Exactly.
So when it comes to that diamond shaped control, you want your action button to be on the left side.
Yes. Sorry, I had to think about that. I'm like, see, right? Is that?
I don't know. I heard Mega Man Legacy Collection. I heard Legacy, and I got excited. And then they're like, "Yeah, the first 6 Mega Man games." I'm like, "You are full of crap." Like, Legacy should be like Mega Man 1 through 10, Mega Man X 1 through 8,
Yeah.
Mega Man Legends 1 and 2. Like, it should be the whole thing. Like, it should be the Legacy.
The Legacy Collection. I agree.
Yeah, Mega Man 1 through 6, because you can't get those off the virtual console for $30. Like, go, shut up. Shut up, Capcom.
It's not encouraging for the Mega Man series going forward. But yeah, you're right. It should be 1 through 10, and X at least.
Yeah.
Even if it was just 1 through 6. No, it should be 1 through 7 and the X games. So that would cover 1 through 7 would cover the NES and the Super Nintendo, and then the 3 X games would cover the Super Nintendo, right?
Yeah.
Weren't there only 3 X games on Super Nintendo?
Yeah.
Okay.
X4 was PlayStation.
Okay, gotcha. And I think PlayStation 8, I think I heard on the Bombcast that was PlayStation as well.
Hmm.
I never played any of those. Once they, truthfully, once they added the dog, for whatever reason, that put me off as a kid. And then didn't they do that in 3?
Yeah. Rush Marine.
Yeah. I don't know. I just didn't like it. I liked the items better. Equipping items 1 through 3.
Hmm. That's funny. Jeremy Parrish said the same thing on Retronauts.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
All right. I'm in good company with my opinion.
Yeah. He's like, I didn't like Rush because Rush reminded me of Scooby-Doo, and I hate Scooby-Doo.
Oh, no. Well, I disagree with him there. I like Scooby-Doo. Crack me up. So, yeah, Mega Man Legacy Collection. If you're interested, keep an eye out for that. Do you know when that's coming out?
Maybe I got it. I know exactly what they're doing. The legacy of Mega Man is disappointment. And they're just continuing the legacy.
That is deep.
By disappointing all the fans.
Yeah, oh, well. Yeah, I own all those games in one way or another. I wish I had all 6 of them on the NES. I have 2, 3, and 4, so I need 1, 5, and 6. Those are not cheap.
No.
So, okay, well, moving on. New Xbox is coming out. Xbox One. It's going to have a terabyte hard drive, and it's going to cost $399, and come with that awesome new controller that we talked about last week.
Right on.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, the longer I wait, the better deal I'm going to get.
Yes. You think you'll eventually pick up an Xbox One?
Yeah, I want to own one. I just don't have the money / there's not enough games to make me want to buy it yet.
Yeah. Mike offered me a phenomenal deal on a PS4. Like, phenomenal. And I couldn't pull the trigger. There's just not enough I want to play for it.
Yeah.
I would just sit idle right now.
You could play... you could beat Rogue Legacy again.
Again. I would, though. I would.
For like the 4th time?
Yeah. I would, though. I'd love that game. So, yeah. I thought that was cool. 1 terabyte hard drive. I wish that they just would have, out of the gate, came with 1 terabyte hard drives instead of having a separate SKU. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I also wish that, Xbox One, this new controller, or maybe it's going to work with the old ones as well, but there's going to be a way for you to be able to play with the controller wirelessly on your PC again.
Oh, wow.
So, that's interesting.
I wonder if it'll use the old dongle.
I
don't think so, because they're not backwards compatible anyway,
yeah,
right?
I was going to say, I think they use
or interchangeable.
Or
yeah.
That's even the right word. But I thought that was really interesting that they're coming out with a new Xbox One. And there's a rumor that PlayStation may be coming out with a new terabyte hard drive console as well.
I know the PS4 is easily upgradable.
They're both pretty easily upgradable.
So you might, like, once these come out, you might be able to get yourself an old, cheaper console and just upgrade it for cheaper.
Oh, really? Yeah, you might as well just do that. They were also saying on the Bombcast, like, regarding there's like wild speculation about the PS4 one.
Mm-hmm.
That supposedly it's going to be a little bit lighter and a little bit more power efficient, but people out there, speculating and whatnot, were saying that the amount of weight that they would be saving would be equivalent to taking out the Blu-ray drive.
Huh.
Can you imagine if they took out the Blu-ray drive? That seems crazy if they would do something like that.
I don't know. Do people use that?
I don't know. Oh, yeah, you use your PS3 as a Blu-ray player, right?
I did.
Oh, that's right. You got one.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. I forgot about that. So I don't know. It'd be interesting. It would be really weird if they do come out with a new SKU.
As long as they were, like, transparent about it and marketed it in such a way where people like it would be very clear that like, hey, this is a PS4. It does not have Blu-ray. It's cheaper.
Yeah.
Like I think that would be cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
That way people have options.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's not a bad thing. So, and then moving on, Mirror's Edge. I never played this game, so I won't talk too much about it unless you have a lot to say. But Mirror Edge 2 is now not a sequel. It's going to be called Catalyst. And Friendly AI, our buddy Mike Colangelo, on his video said that it's a reboot, or closer to a reboot than anything that'd be like a sequel. And I want to say that one of the game designers or developers came out and said it's not a sequel.
From what he quote, first off, that video was freaking hilarious.
Yes.
Secondly, from what he was quoting from the people, it definitely sounds like they're trying to do that, but they're not outright saying it.
Yeah. The impression I got from what Mike was saying was they didn't quite accomplish what they wanted to with the first Mirror's Edge, and now they have the capacity to do that, so they're going to go and give it another go with all the new ideas that they have. But a lot of people love Mirror's Edge.
I love that game. That's one of my favorite games. But at the same time, I'm not... Like, it doesn't bother me that they're not making a sequel. Like, if it's something where they can kind of go back and retinker and... Because, like, the first game, it wasn't, like, the super great story. So if it was something that they just kind of disregarded to go in a different direction that was awesome, then I would be completely okay with that.
Yeah. No, absolutely, because it just means if they're able to make a game that's more fun than the first one...
Right.
Then just kind of go for it. It's not.
And it wasn't something that was like left in a cliffhanger. So.
Okay. Cool.
That first story was pretty self-contained.
Gotcha. And then this we're almost done with the news. So I guess we had a little bit more than we thought. One of the things I saw on Reddit the other day, and I've got an article linking to Polygon here, is this dude spent $50,000 to make his, it looks kind of like a basement, an Elder Scrolls room. Did you happen to see this in the notes before we started?
Yeah, it's pretty hardcore, but
It's real hardcore.
I'm super jealous because he has something I've always wanted. One of the he has a bookcase where you pull a book and it opens up.
I knew that's what you were gonna say.
That's so awesome.
It's very cool. There in the I didn't watch the video, but in the Polygon article, there's a video. That's kind of a tour. But he's got Elder Scrolls potions around. He's got deer antlers. He has these stands that armor goes on. He's got some weapons in the corner of the room. But then he's also got some modern amenities in there. It kind of looks like a log cabin.
Yeah.
Like a really high-end lodge out in Colorado or something like that. But he's got a pool table in there and has a TV. So I'm sure he's going to be spending a lot of time just chilling out in his awesome-ass room.
Yeah.
Hopefully he didn't get all excited for Elder Scrolls Online on PS4. And then the last thing that we have here is what's this shirt, man?
Okay, so Grunt Style is a company. It's a bunch of veterans, and they do like military stuff. A lot of it is a little too machismo for my taste, but I have a few of their shirts I think are pretty cool. But one of them that they just made, I got the email, I think it was yesterday. It's called M16-Bit.
Yes.
And it's an M16, 16-bit on the shirt, and above it says, "It's dangerous to go alone. Take this."
That is very machismo.
And it's awesome and completely out of left field because they have not done anything other than like American flags and like military stuff. All of a sudden it's just this sudden like video game reference.
Oh, weird. I assumed that it was kind of like military apparel for military geeks? Just
No.
based on this one shirt.
No, it's just
Like, think geek for military guys.
right. Yeah, just completely out of left field. I saw it and I was like, man, I gotta own that.
That's sweet. Oh, you picked it up?
Not yet, but Father's Day is coming up, so.
Oh, there you go. Oh, that's right, it is. Crap. I gotta figure out what to do for my dad. Well, cool, man. I think that covers it with the news this week. So, uh-oh. Sorry, everybody. False alarm. I thought Pamela, our recording software, took a crap on us.
Ugh.
I clicked on it just to see how long the call had been going. And it said 2 minutes and 14 seconds. I thought, uh-oh. This is going to be a pain in the ass to pull the audio out of OBS. But, yeah, so as far as what we've been playing, Dustin, you've got a new playthrough series going up on our YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
What is Kingsfield? I've never heard of it, other than watching. I watched your first video.
It is. It's a game from Software.
Fuck those guys for that name.
Yeah, and From Software is the guy. They are the guys that do the Soul series.
Mm-hmm. They did Bloodborne as well, right?
Yeah, and Bloodborne. And a lot of what you see in the Soul series, you also see in Kingsfield.
Oh.
Like my favorite game, or my favorite sword to use in Demon Souls and Dark Souls was the Moonlight Greatsword.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of Kingsfield, the weapon that you pick up is the Moonlight Greatsword. A lot of like Seath, the dragon, plays a big part in the Kingsfield games,
Mm-hmm.
and he's also in Dark Souls. You fight him in Dark Souls. When you cut off his tail, you get the Moonlight Greatsword. So yeah, it's basically a spiritual progenitor for the Soul series.
Okay. Because everyone makes it sound like Demon Souls was the one that kind of broke that genre, but it doesn't sound like it.
Demon Souls is the GTA 3 of that genre. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
So it popularized the genre.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, Kingsfield is first person. It predates dual analog controls. So it has like the early PlayStation controls where your strafe buttons are your L1 and R1.
Mm-hmm.
And you're digital only, no analog control, and you turn left and right using the left and right on the digital pad. And that doesn't sound bad, but it is completely counterintuitive to what we use today.
Yeah. You've put it. How much longer do you have to go until you're at the final? Because you've got 4 parts up or 5 parts right now on the YouTube channel.
Yeah, I'm probably about 4 hours into it at this point. I'm thinking maybe it could be like 7, 8, maybe 10 hours.
Wow. Okay. Cool. And it's PlayStation 1.
Yep.
Okay.
PlayStation. Here, hold on.
It
Well, Visual
looks-
8.
Oh, there we go. It I agree with. Oh, there we go.
Long box.
The long box. That looks pretty. That's in good condition, man.
Yeah.
Did
I got this from a local game shop.
That's what I was just gonna ask. Is where you picked it up at?
It's I have a Game Trader right down the road.
Were you already familiar with the game when you got it? Or
Yeah. My it's gonna sound weird, but my mom actually got really into the Kingsfield series.
Really?
Yeah, she's like super into it. She played a lot of the second one. I think she may have beat the first one.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, we played the first and second one. Although I'm not super familiar with it, so like going back through it's basically like playing it for the first time.
Okay, cool. Does the fact that you're good at Souls games, just in general, does that help? Did they keep a lot of the same like feel and mechanics?
A little, just because the animation and requiring stamina to swing your sword.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that uh, you start off super weak, like you can with you like where you start off in the game. If you walk to the left like 5 seconds, there's a huge enemy that will kill you in one shot. So
That's how it starts.
yeah, that's how it starts. Like it's like this giant kraken, and you'll walk up to it and it'll smack you once and kill you. So a lot of the design philosophy is there. Lots of traps, lots of you start off super weak, but by the end of it, you're going to be super strong. So you get this like super. I'm using the word super a lot. You feel great when you find something new and you get more powerful.
You can switch to totally.
Totally. It has a leveling up mechanic. You kill enemies, they give you experience, and that it is a little more forgiving in that area because you don't use your experience and your. It's not experience and your currency at the same time, like the Souls games. Mm-hmm. Souls are your experience or they are your currency.
Yeah.
With this, you get experience and you get gold.
Oh, okay, cool. Do you like that better?
Yeah. It's different, but if you die, you don't lose levels. But if you don't save and you die, you lose everything.
Oh.
So it's there's no checkpoints. So you save often or you lose progress. Somebody in the chat said it's just like Shadow Towers.
I'm not familiar with Shadow Towers.
They point your name out specifically. So just like Shadow Towers, Scott. I got nothing.
Sorry. I wonder if it's something I've played.
Come on. You don't remember every obscure PS1 game?
I never owned a PS1.
There you go. Well, there you have it.
Well, that's not true. I kind of had one in college. Let's see, Shadow Towers. Okay, not familiar with me. Or Shadow Tower.
I think it's just a guess tag because it's AC Switch or AC Twitch 8113 said it. So.
Oh, well, thanks.
Yeah, thanks for being in the chat, guys.
Yeah,
Mike.
absolutely. Yeah, we got a new follower last week. I think that's who it was.
Sweet.
So, welcome. Cool. Well, anything else about that game that you wanted to talk about?
So I put up that first video and somebody said, "Man, this game looks awful." And I said, "Well, if you put on your 1995 goggles, it basically looks like real life."
Yes, I thought I thought your response was hilarious.
But it reminded me that game is 20 years old.
That sucks.
This game.
I hate hearing how old.
20 years old.
It's 20.
Yep.
It probably came out summer or fall. So it's really close to exactly 20.
2 decades old.
Damn. It's nuts. So cool. Well, you've also been playing some Bloodborne?
Yep. Played some blood words. Bloodborne.
That's it. You're like, yeah, I've been playing Bloodborne.
Next. But I was a little worried about coming back to it because it'd been a while since I played it. Mm-hmm. But I turned it on and beat the one Reborn on my first try.
That's one of the ones that you were really struggling with? Because I know last week when we were talking, I think maybe you did get past it, but you had made a comment where you went to a spot, died 8 or 9 times, said screw this, went to another spot, died almost the same amount of times, and then just sort of gave up on it for a bit.
Yeah, I eventually got past those.
That's right. Okay.
I put it down because I think I was playing tired that night and I just started sucking. But I played the other day and I faced the one Reborn, which is a boss, and that's the first boss that I beat on the first time.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. But, well, I guess I can't give myself too much credit because I'd seen the boss fight before watching Epic Name Bro.
But still, you got to execute.
Yeah.
When I told you I was playing Bloodborne, I watched my buddy be able to get through this kind of like a mini boss almost, leading up into like a big boss.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't even get through the mini boss. It was early on. Do you remember a guy that kind of looked like an ogre, and he had crows that would crawl on the ground and then come up at you?
Mm-hmm.
That guy, I couldn't beat him.
Yeah. That enemy type shows up a lot.
Oh, does it? Okay.
Throughout the game. Mm-hmm. He's the guy he'll smack you with a brick, right? He has a brick in his hand.
Yeah.
But I did die once playing that because I was in another area and I accidentally fell into this trench where the floor was poison, and I was running around and I got into a bad way, and I was kind of freaking out a little bit. And I have these you have these things called hunter's marks, and if you hit that, it will take you back to the last lamp,
mm-hmm.
which will take you back to a safe area.
Yeah.
So I got hit a couple of times. I was in a poison area, and my life was low, and I was like, oh crap, I got to get out of here. And I get on some solid ground. I hit the button, and there's a bit of an animation where he kind of like holds his head, and I'm warping out, and all of a sudden out of nowhere, this enemy throws a boulder, and I'm like almost into safety, and it's like bah, and it hits me in the head and kills me. And I was like, no.
I was talking with a friend of mine the other day. We had some guys over, and we're playing poker and stuff. And he was talking. He just got into Dark Souls 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was talking about finally beating this really difficult boss, and then dying on the way back to the fire. So he beat somebody, and then it kind of sounds like what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And he lost like 40-some thousand souls.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that sucks. If that, I forgot to ask him, but if that happens, would that boss stay dead?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. That's one thing that the Souls games do pretty well is use checkpoints.
Okay.
But like when I died, I dropped like 50,000 souls.
Oh.
But I got back to them and.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and collected them.
Just to go back to Kingsfield for a second, I wanted to ask you: are you playing on original hardware?
No, I'm playing on my PS3.
Okay. So you don't have to worry about memory cards and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I get nervous because those old memory cards were unreliable when they were new. So.
Right.
Well, cool, man. You been playing anything else?
Nothing
on your Vita?
No, I did get a Vita TV.
Did you really?
Yeah, I picked one up for $40. I think I talked about that back when we did the spoiler cast.
Oh, okay.
I just need a good HDCP stripper.
The pod doesn't work?
Hmm.
Oh, okay. I thought that might. Maybe a splitter would work.
I got one off of eBay.
eBay? Okay, cool.
It was like a $15 stripper from China.
Okay.
Didn't work.
Oh, it doesn't?
Doesn't work, no.
That sucks.
Maybe if I get I don't know if I'd like get a more expensive one, if that would work, or if...
You just got a bad one or something?
Yeah, like I got a bad one, or like they used to work and Sony updated the PlayStation TV not to like counteract that, or I don't know.
Are you trying to record game footage and stuff from it?
Yeah, I'd like to.
You're probably going to be up the creek without a paddle on that one.
Probably. But I don't know, it's cool to own.
Yeah, definitely.
If some awesome Vita game comes out, I can play it on the TV.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Well, good deal. So There is a ton, at least in our comments section, a ton of Windows 10 confusion.
Yes.
And I feel bad for Mike because he spent the time to order all these parts for a PC, and this seems like a bunch of crap. So he has a legit Windows 7 disk, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a code for it, but because it's machine locked, he's not going to be able to use that on his new machine and do the upgrade. So now it looks like Windows 10, it'll still let you upgrade if you have a pirated version, but it'll stay an ingenuine version. So you might not get all the updates, or you might not get if there's any baked in cloud functionality, or maybe it's going to lock you out of certain aspects of the App Store and stuff like that. Like, it's tough to say at this point. So there's a lot of confusion on what Windows 10 is going to do for the people that were hoping to try to sneak in there for a free upgrade.
I probably have Windows 7 keys, Mike, if you need one.
Oh.
Because I got that weird like Microsoft software license from, what is it? It's like, you're a student, here's all this software for free.
Oh,
use our crap.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So I got a bunch of those keys. I probably have a Windows 7 left, or Windows 8.
Sweet. Well, there you go, Mike. We can give him something back because he's hooked us up so much.
Yeah, totally.
And then also, I've been playing the follow up to 10 million.
Yeah, I've been wanting to play that. You have to build a boat.
You must build a boat.
There you go.
It's awesome. I've probably played it for about 2.5 hours already. So you remember 10 million, right? It's a dungeon crawler, but all the mechanics are based on a match 3 game.
Yeah, that was a great game.
So here, do you remember in 10 million when you would finish it with a dungeon run, and then you could unlock doors that would allow you to upgrade your items?
Mm-hmm.
In this one, you're adding components or compartments to your boat. So your boat gets bigger and bigger, and in each of these compartments, you can go meet with somebody that is going to allow you to do various sorts of upgrades. And then they changed the match 3 mechanics a little bit, which is cool. So you're collecting things that don't help you immediately, like they're called thought and strength or something like that. And what they do is they allow you to recruit guys. So this has a recruiting mechanic, which just basically means you're upgrading and buying stuff. So if you need to recruit somebody and you need X amount of thought, when you're in the match 3 game, you just focus on matching brains.
Okay.
Instead of like swords and wands and stuff like that. And then another little change that they had is, do you remember how in 10 million you could get a ball of energy or an axe or something like that, and it would move to the top right of the screen, and then you could use that on an enemy?
Mm-hmm.
Well, now the upgrades stay in the play field.
Okay.
So what it does is it takes away one of the options for you to be able to match stuff, but you can use it kind of whenever you want.
Okay.
And you can upgrade those things even. So you can upgrade your spells, upgrade your wand, upgrade your... And the spells can be shocking enemies, fire damage. You can upgrade your sword. You can upgrade your shields. It's really, really cool. It's a nice mechanic. And the music is again, phenomenal. So I've played through 10 million at least once. Maybe I've played through it all the way twice. But at this point, I want to say this game might be better. I mean, it's still a little bit more the same, but I think this one has a little bit more to it. So it was worth the $3, I think. And also, you can't go backwards, but there's levels in this game. So once you complete X amount of quests, you move on to a completely different type of dungeon. Whereas 10 million was just that one dungeon you were trying to get out of.
Mm-hmm.
And in this one, you sail to different areas and islands. And on the map, it lets you know how long you've been playing the game, which is pretty cool.
Cool.
So, yeah, that's really good. You know, I've talked about playing a whole bunch of Mario Kart 200cc.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you also remember how I said that I've struggled a lot with it, that it's really challenging.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been too cautious about going back to the original levels because I assumed that those weren't designed with 200cc in mind, and there'd be too many sharp turns, and it would be really hard. It wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it would be.
All right.
So getting all gold in Mario Kart 200cc is actually a doable task, which was a relief. Because I thought that I think that it just goes to show how difficult those new courses they put out really are. Because that's where I was really struggling, and they're able to. I'm able to get gold medals in some of the earlier races, so yeah, that was cool. I also the other day played some Injustice: Gods Among Us, and I am really, really bad at that game. My buddy and I must have played, I don't know, 8 to 10 matches. I think I won 2.
So you're playing against humans?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I think the reason I won was because he was trying to do special moves, because he'd won like 6 or 8 in a row.
Oh, okay.
So
he was too busy trying something else, and you got the upper hand.
Yeah. Because if it came down to it for our lives, I think I'd be fucked. So, and then the last thing I wanted to talk about was Elder Scrolls Online. You can see it in the background, right here. And yeah, it's now my friend playing it behind me is having a great time with the game so far. But he and I have very different tastes in games, and this one is. I've watched him play maybe an hour or so of it up to this point, and it's just not making me want to grab the controller from him and start playing myself. I'm content watching it, but there have been a couple issues so far. One was I felt real bad, and I was kind of bummed. So even in Mario Kart, it takes my buddy a while to pick a cart and stuff because he's always looking at stats and whatnot, and he really likes character creation. So the other day when Elder Scrolls Online was launching on PC or PS4, he was like, dude, you got to stay up with me until the game launches and see what it's like. And I'm like, oh, man, I want to go to bed. And he goes, I'll make you a deal. You can create my character for me, which was a big deal, right? So we stay up, and I'm like, all right, this is cool. We'll get to do this. And the launch was awful. It just didn't work. 99% of people trying to log in couldn't log in.
Oh, wow, okay.
So then he tried a little bit the next day and still no dice. And I want to say it was 17 or 18 hours after launch before he was able to get into the game.
Oh, man.
And it's an MMO kind of game, you know? Like, that sucks. So I felt bad for him. And then the next day, the character creation deal was off the table.
Oh, what? Didn't you fulfill your side of the bargain?
Thank you. I was up late. He should have let me make the character. He did make a cool guy. I would have made him some like troll looking ugly person. He did name his guy Mr. Cuddles though, which I thought was pretty funny.
Right
on. So yeah, and then also one of the weird things is watching the game, and I'm sure they're going to patch this and fix it. There's some weird frame rate drops and some weird stuttering that happens from time to time.
Huh.
And I can't tell if it's server side or if it is because of like the game having bugs in it or whatever.
Right.
So
like on the processing side.
Yeah, exactly. Like if it was offline, would it still be having these hitching things?
Right.
So, and you get this. So when it came to the character creation, you couldn't create your character until you were signed into the game. So even though the servers were down, like I felt like you should still be able to at least create your character, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And there was just nothing. You couldn't do that at all.
Man.
So I felt bad for everybody trying to get in. And Reddit was kind of blowing up with it.
of course.
Naturally, that's what Reddit does. I love Reddit. So yeah, but I mean, it seems like it's going to be a game for him, but not so much for me. But I don't mind watching him play it because if I need to, I can just play You Must Build a Boat.
Yeah.
Or just try to get him to watch something else or play something else.
Hey, you may have already answered this. What did you get? You Must Build a Boat on?
Android.
Android. Okay. So you're playing on your phone?
No, and I regret that decision. I purchased it and started playing it on my tablet.
Mm-hmm.
And there is no cloud save.
Oh, bummer.
So now, I mean, I installed it on my phone because it's cross-buy,
Mm-hmm.
but I haven't played it on my phone. The only thing I've done is logged in to Google Play to see if it operated like Steam.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there'd be some Steam crossover or crossover like Steam with save files and stuff, and it didn't work out that way. And I guess the Steam version doesn't have cloud save support either.
Huh.
Which is weird. I haven't heard of a game coming out without that support in a long time. But Steam's not how you want to play this. This is a touch interface game.
Yeah. I wonder if that's just like a team size kind of thing. Like, is that how big the studio is that made that game?
I'm sure that's what it is.
Yeah.
Because then they'd have to spend the time supporting servers and stuff like that, potentially. Yeah. Or they'd have to pay for Steam servers or whatnot. I'm sure it's a cost and team size thing like you're talking about. I mean, it's just match 3. It's no big deal. You don't really need it to save.
Right.
So, well, that's it as far as what I have been up to. So let's get to YouTube comments. Dustin, we got something really wrong last week.
Which one?
Yeah, no kidding.
The Windows 10.
We got Windows 10 wrong. Ron Perlman was the voice in the Fallout 4 trailer.
I guess I just didn't hear him.
I forget who it was. Maybe it was Tested or someone like that. Or maybe it was the Morning Stream. I don't remember. One of the podcasts I listened to was saying that Ron Perlman's a legit voice actor.
Mm-hmm.
So they said that he was doing his normal or a voice of his, and then there was only a little bit where he did the same Fallout voice that he's done in the past.
Okay.
So you must have just missed it.
I wonder if it was at the end. I don't think I finished the video.
I don't think you did either. I think you watched it real quickly before we started recording.
Then I was 3/4 of the way asleep while I was podcasting.
True. Oh, you did fine. But that was from Zarek, our buddy Zarek Gaming. And Zarek also left a comment saying it was back to the file size of Splatoon. Remember we were talking about how file sizes maybe or maybe not could indicate the quality of a game, at least on the AAA scale. And he said now he says the small file size of Splatoon turned out to be very telling. He says Splatoon is a great game, but there's not a lot of content. I've heard other people say its price versus available content is unbalanced. That's what you and I were worried about.
Yeah.
It looked fun, but it just didn't look like maybe enough was there. And he says, he goes on to say, I think it's fun, and I wish I had more time to play it. I still haven't had a day off work since March.
Good gravy, man.
Poor guy, man. I just feel... And then watching his YouTube videos, he has a lot of energy. I love that about his videos. So if anybody... If he can have that much energy in YouTube videos after working 7 days a week, more power to him. Let's see here. So, yeah. And then also, we had our buddy Demez write in a bunch, and he said that he's read a lot about getting free Windows 10. All the checklists say that you have to have a proper, genuine copy of Windows already. How is it? You said you can get a free upgrade without having a first legit one. And I let him know that I heard it from other sources and whatnot. So... That's where he came in to let me know that if it's a non-genuine key in the first place, it'll probably stay a non-genuine key. But he was hoping that maybe I knew something that he didn't, unfortunately. And then also he says, Capcom put out Mega Man 9 and 10 with an 8-bit style. Why not bring a new Mega Man X with a 16-bit style? He says the retro styles are cheap to develop too. No worries for the huge 3D worlds and whatnot. So I agree with him. It'd be cool to see him come out with Mega Man X6 or whatever.
I think it would be like 9 at this point.
Did they have that many of them? Okay.
Yeah, they kept going. They were on like PlayStation 2.
Gotcha.
Mega Man X games.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. That was the PlayStation 1, Nintendo 64 was when I started falling out of gaming a bit. And really wasn't in it very much during the PlayStation 2 and Xbox era. I was still playing an emulator on a Dreamcast so I could play ice hockey from the NES. So I don't know much about that stuff. And then, Domez also goes on to say about Steam refunds. They do say that it will stop you from refunding games if you abuse the system. And I think that's an easy way to provide evidence of abuse if it's small, cheap games. You get a trophy for beating it. He says they can banhammer, which I've never heard that term before. Banhammer your refunds if you go and beat a short indie title and demand refunds. So, yeah, I don't know. What do you think about that as far as the Steam refunds are concerned? It's not really fair to some of those smaller games, but listening to the Bombcast, I heard Brad Shoemaker say it really good. You got to draw a line in the sand somewhere.
Yeah, I think they brought up like achievements. Like if you have this achievement, if you unlock this achievement, then you can't get a refund.
Yeah, I think that's a smart deal.
Yeah,
which would make it a little bit of a pain for developers, I think, trying to figure out where a good cutoff point is. Because it's almost like putting in an achievement for completing a demo. But then if you have a really small game, that is the game.
Yeah.
So I don't know. He also says, off topic, Hearthstone is adding a new hero. They're going to make a lot of money off this. Yeah, if that's true, that's awesome. And then he gave me a suggestion on what to do with my Wi-Fi repeater. My buddy playing the game behind me, he's staying with me for a bit, so that's why we've been playing a ton of games together. But he's staying in the room with my spare PC, so I'm not going to test the thing that he said just yet. But what he basically says is you can run a command prompt ping Google and look at the average return of like how many milliseconds it takes for your information to ping or whatever. And he says if my ping creeps over 100, then I have issues. I'd be surprised if it pinged less than 100. I bet that I'm just too far away for gaming over on that spare rig. And then the last thing is most Steam games are Windows, which he's right about because we were talking about Steam boxes last week. And he goes, sure, a bunch of games run on Linux now, but these I thought he was saying focusing, but these fucking Steam boxes will be useless until you install Windows. At which point, why would you buy a Steam box? Yeah, if you just wanted a budget PC, maybe there's one on sale, and just put Windows on it. Maybe you'll have a decent like home theater PC kind of a thing. I don't know. You and I have Steam boxes already.
Yeah.
You know, if you have a Windows PC and you're running Steam, you got one. So, yeah, I don't really know. These Steam boxes are pretty curious. We'll see what happens with them. So we've covered Dumbass. Thanks again for writing in, man. Really appreciate it. And also, want to thank Zarek very much for leaving some comments. I think that's it as far as comments were concerned from the last episode.
Oh, hey, I just put 2 and 2 together. one of the guys who commented on my Kingsfield, he has his name and his YouTube he has his YouTube handle, and it ends with ACT8113,
Oh,
and that's
Andrew.
yeah, AC Twitch 8113 in the chat.
Oh, cool. What's up, Andrew?
Yeah.
Yeah, you commented, yeah, on Kingsfield. Yeah, sweet. Well, welcome to the channel.
And he says in the chat, he asked, I wonder why other companies made game cases as big as Sega CD cases for the PlayStation for a time. And that was actually the form factor that they used for a while when the PlayStation first released. I actually have a couple other games. I got Destruction Derby and D, and they used these a lot before that. And the clearer ones, the tabs on them broke off easy, super easy. So I think they just eventually decided it's probably cheaper, and the little cases, the little jewel cases that CDs used to come in, just they're easier to maintain, and they're not as breakable.
No, I'm not quite sure if I'm remembering it the right way, but do you remember CDs that were in tall cases?
I think so. Did we lose video?
We lost video.
That was weird.
Let's see if we're still recording.
Oh, I see you.
Okay. We're back, and it says it's still recording, so...
and we're back. All right.
We're back. So, last thing. We got an email from Mike T. You want to go ahead and read it?
Yeah, here we go. 102.8 degree baby. Hi, Scott, Dustin, and hopefully Josh. I'm holding a sick baby, so I need to make this quick. I just finished The Witcher 3, and I'm safe in saying this is the best ending of a video game I've ever experienced. I did my best to go through the game without knowing how my actions would affect the ending, and it paid off big time. Let's just say that even the ending kept me guessing, and I went through a lot of emotions while completing the epilogue quest. There was a point when I shouted out loud, and another point where I was tearing up. I'm not kidding. It was that amazing.
Wow.
The game is probably the best looking game on the current consoles, and I'm sure it looks even better on a good PC. Guess what? People look like people. Take that, Dragon Age. Overall, the game was absolutely amazing. There were several problems, but looking back on my 90 hours with the game, all those problems were only frustrating at the beginning. Go get it and play it.
Damn. That is a ringing endorsement.
Yeah.
And then you provided a screenshot. That I'm not sure what's happening with my recording setup right now, so I'm not touching anything. So, all right, man. Well, anything else you wanted to add before we call it a show?
Let's see. Nothing new in the chat. Check Pretty May. I don't know what that means, Mike.
Maybe it's referencing the screenshot that he has.
Check Pretty May.
I don't know what that means either. So yeah, I guess that's going to be it. Sorry, Mike, your joke went over our head. We're both dumb. So yeah, everyone, I want to thank you very much for listening. Again, this is episode 142. Want to thank Ben Landis very much for letting us use his song Through the Force as the intro music to our podcast. And also, the outro music this week is going to be from a collaboration. The two Atari musicians, 505 and XYCE, have a song called Space Disco, and is made with an Atari ST, I think. So it's a cool little chiptune, so I'll be playing that. If you want to follow us, make sure to... Don't you dare delete that. If you want to follow us, we're on Stitcher, we're on iTunes, we're on SoundCloud. If you just search Classic Elite at any of those places, you'll find us. As well as you can search Classic Elite on Twitter, Facebook, and most importantly, YouTube for all of our stuff, and you'll be able to find us. I guess it is one of the nice things about having a dumb name, is no one's taking it on any of these other services.
That's right.
That's right. So, yeah, I don't know if I told you I was on the Retrocast, and I admitted, like, I don't really care for our name that much anymore. I'm, like, burnt out on it. It sounds cheesy to me now. But we're too far along.
Yeah.
So we're like
we can't rebrand at this point.
Yeah, we can't rebrand. That's what they were suggesting. They're like, just change the name. I'm like, no way. Smashing Pumpkins, Billy Corgan hated the name. And that band stayed awesome. So
Yeah.
we can strive to be like the Smashing Pumpkins.
Besides, we'd probably come up with something dumber.
Oh, we absolutely would. Yeah, you're absolutely right. So, all right, everyone. Go ahead.
Mike clarified he was talking about Pamela. Check Pamela.
Oh, I did.
He called her Pretty May.
Oh, Pretty May. There we go. Okay. Pamela. Yeah, she's still working. So, all right, everyone. Well, thanks a lot for listening, especially our live streamers. Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention twitch.tv. If you search for Classic Elite there, you'll find us. It's classic_elite is our channel name over that way. So, yeah, I want to thank everyone very much for listening. Hope you enjoy the song, and we will see you soon for episode 143.
Boosh!